Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we're going to discuss about the second part of the Vedic culture. In our last video we have discussed about who were the Aryans and a slightly how we detect one person as Aryan, this kind of topics. And on the basis of those topics which we have discussed earlier, we are gonna now know about the Aryans of India or the Indo-Aryans. Those part of the Aryans who came to India and who settled down here. So that is why without further delay we are gonna discuss the thing very briefly and easily so that you never miss a question in your examination. So first of all, you have to know from where this cultural invasion came, what is the identity and what is the earliest text we find, because from the texts of the Aryans we got to know about them. So regarding the invasion, actually it's not invasion, they were vagabonds and they came to India. Well, there were some kind of conflicts with the tribes of indigenous land as well, but you cannot completely call it as invasion as it didn't destroy everything. Anyway, so mainly from two cultural zones Aryans came. First came somewhat earlier, that is from the Andronovo culture, and the second one they came from the Bactria Margiana archaeological complex, that is around 1600 BC or something. So that they came from South Central Asia. So the first one they came from Central Asia and the second one they came from South Central Asia. And most of the Aryan traits which we find in Andronovo culture, that had been prevalent in the Rigvedic culture or the so-called main Aryan culture. From BMAC, Aryans got only the practice of domesticating the horses, which is one of the most important traits of Aryan culture. Regarding their settlement here, Aryans, they took shelter in Afghanistan, they took shelter in Northwest Frontier Province, Punjab and Western UP in India. And later they got mixed up with the indigenous tribes of the land, and we can find that is why some Munda words or some Dravidian words in Rigveda as well, because they later on they got mingled with the people of this land. Regarding the texts of the Aryans which we get to know about, that is the Rigveda. Rigveda is not only one of the most earliest texts, this is the earliest text of Indo-European language. Okay, so this is the Indo-Aryan, the text of Indo-European language, that is the earliest. It is a collection of prayers only, which is dedicated to Indra, Agni, Mitra, Varuna and other gods as well. So mainly this is a collection of poems in case of prayers, or you can say recitations. So the researchers have said that from book 2 to book 7 that has been composed earlier, and after that book 1 and 10 got added, and it has many similarities with the Iranian text Avesta, which is also an Indo-Iranian or kind of Aryan cultural text which is from the different land. So this is how we get to know about that Aryans and Iranians, they had a very great connection in the past, and this is the earliest things of the Aryans we get to know about Indo-Aryan culture. You can see some of the pictures over here, that how the invasion happened, and they have given a route map here how the carrier is coming to India, and we have given a pictorial view of the Rigveda's slokas as well. Those of you who know Sanskrit, you can try on it. So having said that, let us move on to the next part, that is the glimpses of social life, because that is one of the major aspects of the Aryan cultures which you can be asked in the examination. About the social life, we are going to discuss about the three main facets of the social life, that is the administration of Aryan culture, the social structure of Aryan culture, from where the varna system and the caste system is coming, and the gods which they worshipped, and also regarding some matters of marriage and all. So firstly, the Indo-Aryans were the better warlords. Okay, whatever the tribal wars or the chieftain wars they have battled with the opponent, they have had always the upper hand, because they knew how to draw a chariot, how to drive a chariot, and how to use a horse as to speed up your form of attack. So they had these advantages of chariot and horses. With that, they had bronze arsenals, which were lighter, which are better, and which were sharper. Also, they had the coat of mails, that means the armor, which could not, like you can see in Mahabharata also, Indra is giving Arjuna the coat of mail, which is Indra is giving, Karna the coat of mail, which is indivisible. So this kind of things, invincible coats. So this coat things were there, and that was one of the reasons why they had an upper hand. And regarding the battles between the chieftains, there had been some battles. The clan of Aryans, Bharata, they had battle with 10 different chiefs, and that was named as the Battle of 10 Kings as well. Here a kind of information that from the clan's name Bharata, the name Bharata Varsha, that has come. So this was kind of the warlords and the warfare techniques of the Aryans, how they have dominated in the field, in the battlefield. Regarding the chief, the tribal chief was called the Rajan, which has been later called Raja and Maharaja as well. So basically they were tribal chiefs, and also they had an electoral body, you can say, to select or elect the king of the tribe. Regarding the assemblies, they had like Sabha, Samiti, Vedata, Gana. So these kind of institutions were there. Those were present in the Aryan culture, which used to consist a tribe. But one thing was there, and that was somewhat interesting in their culture, that though they had fought with each other, they had fought with non-Aryans as well, their army group was always temporary, like Vrata, Gana, Grama, Sarda. So these kind of things, they were the temporary armies. They didn't have any perfect professional army in that sense, because mainly they were pastoral, and if they wish to keep an army of their own, then nobody is there to serve the army or to pay the army, because that time the taxation system and everything was different. The priests were get paid with either cattle or women slave or slave. So the concept of tax, the concept of money was not there. So paying to the army was not there. So after the king, then comes the pada, or the platform of chief, army chief, or the senani was respected the most. That is the post of army chief, or senani or senapati. And after that, the other commoners, they come. Sometimes the senanis, they were given large stretch lands as a reward or something, and they were promoted to Brajavati. Now there was a concept of wish. Okay, that wish, what is a wish? That if you collect some of the gramas or villages, you can say some of the gramas, but we cannot say that is village, because that time the context of grama was different from today's context. So we'll say only grama. So if you just take some of the gramas, and that consists in a wish. The term Vaishya, that has come from this wish. Now regarding the social structure, we know that in the Rigvedic period there was not caste system, but there was varna system. There were Arya varna, and there was Dasa varna. So there were mainly three sects in the society, that is Purohits, kings, and commoners. Like regarding commoners, there were some of artisans, like tailors, like farmers, like pastoralists, like shepherds and all. They were the main, those were the main vocations of Aryan culture. Purohits, they had the upper hand in everything. They were given gifts, they were given every kind of payments or respects from the other two clans. As two Purohits name we can find from Rigveda, that is Vashishta and Vishwamitra. Vashishta was the liberal one, conservative one, and Vishwamitra was the liberal one. Vishwamitra was that person who composed the Gayatri Mantra, which is now very much in the Brahminical culture of Hindu religion. Regarding the marriage was of course considered a very strong institution. Even we find in Rigveda that the elder brother Yama, he is interfering into the marital matter of her sister, his sister Yamuna. So the marital institutions and marital problems, there was a stronghold of, obviously it was a patriarchal society, so the males had the last say. But there was one good thing in that society, that was the widow marriage was there and child marriage was prohibited. Mainly the researchers are saying that during the age of 17 or 18, the girls used to get married in Aryan culture. Now when you talk about gods, we get so many gods name in Rigveda. The main was Indra or Purandar. He has 250 hymns offered to him in Rigveda. After that, the second most important god is Agni. He got 200 hymns after his name. Then comes Varuna. There is a mention of Soma as well, that is the god of plant, and from where the name of the intoxicating drink Somrasa, that has come. And also there were some female goddesses as well, but the numbers and the priority of female goddesses were very low. Saraswati was one of the most important female goddesses of that time. The interesting fact is, for their worshipping, they had a different worshipping method. They used to recite prayers and they used to sacrifice animals. That was somewhat different from what the Harappans used to do. But they mainly prayed for the praja, pashu, it means the people, then the cattle, then wealth, health, and like other things. So this concept that Aryans, they gave a very spiritual process to the Indian culture, that was completely wrong. That came maybe later when the Indian philosophy got introduced, like Shankaracharya and other people. But Aryans, they initially prayed for their own well-being. They didn't care for the spiritual upliftment or anything like that. So there are some false concepts regarding the Aryans which we need to clear if we want to write a very clear and politically correct answer. You can see some of the pictures over here also. The Aryan gods are the Vedic gods, and Vishwamitra and Vashishta, whichever we got from the internet, because in ancient history you cannot get that much of pictures. You have to think and you have to imagine a lot, because the evidences are very less. Anyway, so this was about our, this was the most important topics from Rigvedic culture. Now, on the basis of those topics and also on the basis of your own intuition, we are giving you three questions. These three questions you have to attempt, and you have to send us in a mail address. So let us go for the question section. The first question which you have to attempt, that is, Rigvedic period saw a declination of civilization. Do you agree or not? Give justifications to your answer. 10 marks, 150 words. So for that matter, you have to write it in a way that you compare it with the Harappan civilization. You show the differences between the two civilizations. If you think that the Rigvedic period, they were developed than the Harappan civilization, then you write yes and give answers to your justification. And if you see the vice versa, give your justification vice versa as well. This you have to attempt for 10 marks. Second question is, briefly discuss about the social and political structures of Rigvedic era. This is a very easy question which you have to write in to 150 words for 15 marks. That is whatever we have told in the video today. You can get the answer from it itself, and obviously when you'll be reading the chapter yourself, you'll be getting the answers as well. Third is, which all traits of Rigvedic era do you find in modern day Hinduism? These kind of questions you will get if they give any kind of question from this chapter, because UPSC will not ask you any direct question that tell about Rigvedic gods or something like that. If they ask, then you are the luckiest person that they have asked such a simple question. But mainly they ask a very tricky question. That is why our aim is to give you the most tricky question in the end of the video, so that when you practice those things, you get to know about the tricks and twists of the examiner. So the third question is, which all traits of Rigvedic era do you find in modern day Hinduism? For 10 marks you have to write in 150 words. So I hope that we will be receiving answers from you, and send us the answers in zoomfonline01@gmail.com. This email address we have given you. Send your answers in PDF format or in Word format, or if you want to send in picture format, send a picture, but the picture should be clear. So thank you very much. Thank you for staying with us. We hope that you are liking our video, and please like and share and subscribe our channel. Obviously press the bell icon to get the newer updates, and we'll be coming with the third part or the last part of the Vedic culture, and after that we'll be moving on to the Jainism and Buddhism and other aspects of ancient Indian history. So we'll be continuing in our next video. Thank you very much. Thank you for staying with us. Stay well, stay safe.